Recording in progress.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. So, yesterday we learned about how to handle routing. Basics of routing we learned actually. So, in the routing concept, we discussed about React router DOM version 6. So, in this, we have components like browser router, and we have routes, and we have a route, we have a link. Later we will see outlet, how to use it. So we learned the basic routes first. So what is browser router? Browser router is responsible for translating the virtual DOM routes to the actual DOM. So browser router is a provider actually. It locates the routes from the virtual DOM and translates into the actual DOM. That is the main job with browser router. So it is mandatory that all the routes are defined inside the browser router. Collection of routes are defined using routes. Every individual route is defined by using route. And static navigation we can define using link. Outlet we will see. For that we need another concept to understand. Outlet actually indicates where to render the result. We will see in the next level how to handle. So what we done yesterday is we created a simple route. So user can select the required content and it is going to render that particular markup. Going to render the markup. So the intention is to design a single page environment where user will stay on one page and can access any content onto page without reloading the page. That is the key point. We are accessing login, we are accessing other details here. And we discussed about in interviews, sometimes they ask like, so what are wildcard routes? Actually, but the technical question is that wildcard route is nothing but, so one is slash and another one is asterisk. These are wildcard routes. So path, so route have route path slash. So what does it indicates? Refers to content that display when, uh, user is not, requesting any specific. And another is their route path, that is asterisk. So refers to content that display when a requested path is not available, or you can say is not found. Requested path is not found. Not found simply. So that is the wildcard route. Usually they are known as wildcard routes actually. So we created a simple route. So how do we define the route and configure it? Now, when you are defining the route, the basic routes we simply configure with the route path, and it will contain a name. Later, one more concept you will see, because in many web design application environments, they ask this question: what is difference between absolute path and relative path? This is also very important question for freshers in interviews. What is absolute path and what is relative path? Difference between the absolute and relative path. So later in example, I will show you implementing how to use it. Absolute and relative path is nothing but, actually, first let me explain that. For example, what happens is, suppose you are accessing some http://www.amazon.com/products/ some electronics, something like this path is there. Now what happens is, I am designing a path. That means we are writing a route path. And in the route path, we add the path like, suppose categories is the path name. And we have an element. Element is what you want to render. Now, what is the question asked to you is, in interviews, what is difference between these two? In interviews, the question is, what is difference between these two? So difference between this slash categories and categories. The difference is, this categories is, the categories is the relative path. If you write like this, what happens is, it is relative path. Relative path means this categories is going to, it is going to add after this electronics. It is going to add after that electronics. That means already there is a path, products, electronics. After electronics slash, then categories, it will add. That means relative path indicates keep the existing path and add this current path to that path. That is relative. Absolute means what is the second phase is what this is going to do. This is actually absolute path. This is absolute path. The what absolute path is going to do? Absolute path is nothing but what it will do is it will remove this and it will add categories. It is going to remove and it is going to add these categories there like this. That means already you traveled some path. It will clean up and it will start again. That is what absolute. Absolute means set a new path. Relative means add to the existing path. This you can practically see while designing a child route. When we design child route, so we can understand and practically use it. But it is actual very common in navigation. In navigation, we obvious every time we obviously we are going to use everywhere these two paths regularly. One is absolute path, another one is relative path. So what is the difference is nothing but relative path adds the specified, adds the specified to existing path. It is mostly used for child route. Absolute path, absolute path adds the specified by removing existing. Adds the specified by removing existing. That means it is not relative to existing. That means you can say that it sets a new path. So route path is equal to categories. This is what relative. Route path is equal to slash categories. That is absolute. So these are two important. Wildcard routes and absolute and relative path. Now, while working with routes, we need to understand another basic, that is route parameters. We need to understand route parameters. So while working with the routes, we need this route parameters. So what is the purpose of route parameters and how to handle them? Actually, route parameters allows us to query any content directly inside the component. To access a component, we need a route. In that component, what you want, that you can display by using route parameters. We can query by using route parameters. We can access route, means we can access any component by using a route. But in that component, I want specific. Then I can get that by using these route parameters. Earlier, we have to depend on query string to query any content in a page. We have to depend on query string. We use query strings, question mark, query string name and value. In JavaScript, you learn query string, how to handle. So here also we can use query string, but the main priority is route parameter. We can add query string also, but query string is called as search parameter. Here we call it as search parameter. So what is route parameter purpose is we can query, not only query, we can even transport data from one component to another. Transporting data from one component to another, we can do by using this route parameters. Let's implement one example. Let's see how to define that. So what is this concept is, let's design another routing interface. In SRC, I will add a new folder, suppose shopper, something like this. So shopper is a new component, or say fake store. We have API. Fake store is one component we are having. So first in this, I will add some components. Fake store index dot JSX. This is fake store index. So export function fake store index. Okay, return some markup. Later we will design it. This is the fake store index. And we will have another one, a new component. This is so fake store categories. This is fake store categories. This is fake store categories. Fake store index, fake store categories. And another one, fake store products.jsx. This is fake store products. So we have some components, fake store index, fake store categories, and fake store products. So now what we need to do here. So we will start with fake store index. We will start with that fake store index. So then what we have to do, we will keep that index in the startup. So index.js, it will start with fake store index. It will start with the fake store index. And currently it is empty, nothing is there. Okay. Now what should happen is we have one more. So we are having one more, that is fake store home.jsx. So in this is fake store home. In the fake store home, we are creating a simple output heading. This is like shop. This is just I'm giving shop. So class, so BI and BI cart, something like this. Just I'm adding a header here. Okay, so here let's go to the index. Output is currently empty. In the index page, I'm just creating some header. So we need browser router. In the browser router, first I will keep a header. In the header, we have a some div and span, some fake store. Okay, and another div. So some span, and we have some categories like home, like span, some categories like this we are having. Some blog, something like this we are having pages. Okay. So now this all I will just give another div span class BI, some search. Roughly, first I will keep a design and BI person. So BI and BI cart. Okay. Now that is the at the top we are having class deflex and justify content between. Okay. And padding 2. Just I'm adding like this. And so BG dark and text white. Okay. This is just a design we are having at the top. FS4, some font size is increased. FW bold. Font weight is bold. And we have the classes MX is 2. So I'm adding this. Okay. Now the same MX2. Fine. That is some design we are having. Class name is FS5. Fine. Okay. That is some design. Now what we need is whenever we start, home page should come in the section area. That means now in the section area, we need to create, this is section area. In the section area, we are creating a simple home. That means we are creating what routes. In the routes, what is the route? So route, first route have a path. And what is the path? Home. And which element it should render? It should render fake store home. That is what it should render. Make sure that it is imported above. Automatically VS Code will import it when you choose. Otherwise, once check, is it imported or not? Fake store home is imported, right? We are using this. So by default, it will start with that home. And this should happen. The same should happen even for slash also. That means if user is not requesting anything also, same should open. The same should display there, right? Home should come. And what is that fake store home is having? It is having this div. It should display that. So route path. So is defined. some problem. What is the problem? Fake store home. It is there. Where it is rendering. In the browser router section routes. We are rendering this. It is unable to render the route. What is problem? What URL? Browser router routes route path is what? Slash and element. Which element? Fake store home. Why it is not there? Some categories. Acha, URL have problem there. About is requesting that's fine. So what you do, same. This is what fake store. I forgot that URL is changing, right? So this is having about, some about is there. That is the problem, right? Now we will make this class as a margin top 4 and padding 4. Okay, this is what we are having. Now what we need to do is, we want user to go to the categories. That means from here, we will use another option. When user clicks on home also, same thing should come. That means we have to use which path? Home. Now, shop categories. That means here I will put a header. We will go to home. Here I want a link. It should navigate me to the categories. So what we will do here, we will add another path, route. What is that route? Route path. Route path. So is categories. And what is element? Element is nothing but fake store categories. That is the element we have to access. Now what we need to do in home, here we will put a link. So what this link will do, it will have shop what? Categories. And link to where the path is categories. It will link to the categories. So it will give you this option. Now, when I click on this shop categories, it should get me the list of all categories. Whatever categories are there, I want the list of all categories. That means actually it is going to load categories component. It is going to get the categories component. And whenever user clicks, he can go back. That means what we will do in the categories, we will put a div. and we will put a link. This link is back to home. And here we have to link to which one? Home. That means back to home, it will get back to the home. And see here now, home is added to the existing path. What it should do? It should delete the path and it should add this only as a new path. So how to write absolute path? This is relative now. That means we have to put a slash. That is absolute path. So when you go back here, when you say back to home, then it will get back to home. Otherwise, it will add to the relative. That is the difference between relative path and absolute. Even when you mention the path anywhere, slash, if you don't use, it will be relative. That means it will add to the current path. So now it is going back. So categories here. And you see the categories is added to home. Right? So then what we need to do? This categories also. So have to use what? Slash. It should use slash. So that is absolute path, how you define. So initially it will open the shop categories. I click on categories, it will get the categories. I click on back to home, it will get back to home. Now when I click categories, it should get the list of all categories and display here. It should get the categories list and display here. So let's go to the categories. Now you know what to do. We will configure a state categories and what? Set categories is equal to use state. We are expecting an array. So what we do? Use effect. That means at the time of mount. At the time of mount, what we need to do? Axios dot get from https://fakestore.com/products/ what? Categories. Dot then. So we will get a response. So then what we need to do? The response data we need to set categories. Set categories what? Response dot data. It is there. Now the categories information I want to display below. So we have an unordered list. And in this unordered list, I will put a class name as list unstyled. So numbering will not be there. And we will put a dynamic, what is it? Categories dot map. So read every category. And for every category, what it should do is, for every category, it should create a link. Actually, it is what? List item. List item, first we will put a key. Key is what? Category. And here it should display a link. And what this link has to do is, it should go to the products that belong to that particular category. That means now what we will do first, I will keep this category name. So category name here. Category name dot to uppercase. I will just use an to uppercase. And actually it should link to, so link to slash products. It should link to products. Products we haven't designed. We will later design. Okay. Now, and this should be like a class btn and btn dark. So some W25, something like this. And my some 3, something like this. This is for list item we will put my3. That means what it is going to do is, when I click on categories, it should get me all the categories and display. Whatever the categories are there, it is going to get me that and display. So back to home, it will get back to the home. And categories, get the categories and display those categories. Now, important is up to this path is normal. You click on the link, it will go to categories. When I click category, it has to go to products. In that products, it should display the products that belong to this category. It should display the products that belong to that particular category. So we need to navigate from one route to another. And while navigating, I need to carry this category name. Which category we clicked, that category name we have to send. Then in the products component, it will collect the category name and it will display the products that belong to that particular category. So what we need to do, we need to transport data from this component to another. So what is the component next from here where it is going? So it is going to products, and if it is going to products in the index, make sure that there is a path. What is the route? So route have a path. What is the route path? Products. But products is expecting a category name. That means when you access products, you have to tell which category products. Then it will display only that category related products. It is expecting category name. That means it is expecting parameter. Generally, when a URL is expecting some query string, then we put question mark key equal to value. That is how query strings are passed. But in route, the parameters are defined by using /:, and the parameter name. Parameter name, I am expecting category name. Parameter name is category name. Route parameters are defined by using this. We can have multiple parameters. Multiple parameters again /:. Again another key we can give /:, again another key we can. Any number of parameters you can define. But remember, every parameter is mandatory. You cannot skip, you cannot ignore. If a route is expecting parameter, you have to pass parameter. Otherwise, it will go wrong. It will simply say that not found. That means when we send this, which element should render? When we access products, which element should render? Fake store products should render. We have to get the fake store products. So observe carefully fake store products. I'll just keep a heading. So I will give the option like products. Okay. Now observe when I click on this, it will go to products, but products is expecting a parameter. If you don't pass the parameter, we will design wildcard routes also for tracking the issues. What I will do, route path is what? Asterisk. If it is asterisk, what is the element? Element is directly, I will put a heading and we will say that as what? Not found. Not found we will give. Just temporarily I am using this. And let's put a class name as text danger. Right? That is what we are defining. Now, when I click on categories, that means it will go to products, but says not found. Why? Because the products is expecting a parameter. You have to pass the parameter. That means now what we need to do, when user clicks on any category, that category name must be passed. So let's go to the categories component. In the categories component, so you see the products link to products slash, it is expecting parameter. What is the parameter? Parameter is the category name. That means we will bind the parameter here. The parameter is category name. How to bind? In a string, you can't bind directly like this. We will use a backtick. You know, backtick. Or first what you do, put a expression. In that, put a backtick. It should go to where? Slash what? Products. After that, slash and binding expression. What is that category name? The current category name we will pass. That means now what it is going to do, it is going to access the category key and that category name will be passed here. That means whenever user clicks electronics, then it will get to that products electronics, right? And from here, from products, I need to go back to, I will put a link in a div. I will put a link and here it should go back to where? So it should go back to, oh, yeah, it should go back to the categories link. So we say back to categories. Categories. How it should go back to categories? Link to what? Categories. It should be slash categories. That means from products, I click here, it will go back to categories. I selected jewelry. Then you will see that when I selected jewelry, it is going to navigate to products, and into the products, it is passing that jewelry. Now, what should we do in the products page? In the products component, we have to collect this route parameter, that is category name. We have to collect the route parameter and display only the products that belong to that particular category. So how to configure parameter, how to pass the parameter, and how to access the parameter. These are the three basic things. How to configure the parameter? Parameters are configured by using slash colon. How to pass the values? Just slash value. How to access the parameters? We will see how we can define. So first point, what is a route parameter? What is the concept of route parameter? So a route parameter, is defined in the URL, is defined in the URL, is defined in the URL. It is used to query any content in a component. It is used to query any content in a component. Query any content in a component. You can transport data from one component to another by using route parameters. By using route parameter. You can transport data from one component to another by using route parameter. The parameters are configured in route path. The parameters are configured in route path. Route path is equal to slash, it is component, some path name slash colon param1 slash colon param2. Like this, we can define the parameters. We can add so many parameters like that. So this is how we define. So the parameters are configured with a slash colon, the parameter. Now, how to pass value? The values are passed from URL. The values are passed from URL by using link or you can pass directly by using link or address bar. We can do by using link or address bar. So here we have like link to what we have to do. So here we are having a name slash and here val1 again slash like value2, like this we can define. We can means dynamically, directly values also we can pass. Value and value2. That is how we define a link. From address bar also we can pass HTTPS, HTTP :/localhost some 3000 slash some name slash value1 and slash value2. Like this we can define. So now the question is how to collect the parameters. Generally, in your JavaScript, you will pass a query string. How to collect the query string? In JavaScript, you will have a location search, location object search property, which is going to get the query string. Complete query string will be accessed. So by using location search, we access the query string. Here, how to access route parameters? To access route parameters, React provides a React router DOM provides React router DOM provides use params hook to access the route parameters. To access the route parameters, React router DOM provides provides use params hook. So it returns an object with a key value collection. It returns an object with key value collection. It returns an object with key value collection. The key and value collection. So that means actually, now observe here, in the component products, here we are accessing jewelry. Now what we need to do, jewelry products, this category name we should collect here. So that means it is a key value collection. What is the key? Key is the parameter name category. And what is the value equal to jewelry? Category is equal to jewelry. So how to access in the products? In the products, what we have to do? We have to import let params is equal to use params. Use params will come from React router DOM. That means what this params is, it is an object with key and value. That means what it actually contains, it will contain the category and whatever the category name you pass, whatever the category name it is. That is parameter 1 and value. Similarly, parameter 2 and value. That means how many parameters are there? All are written like an object. That you know how to access object. So what these params contain? So you can see it is params. I will just put here. That means I am just using here. I am just using here params. I am using the params. And observe here. So it is saying that objects are not valid. That means it is an object. And what is that object having a key? Key. What is the key name? Category is the key name. It will get that category. That means it is going to get the category and display. That means through this key reference, you can access it. Whatever route parameters they passed, you can access it. That means here, so we will define like class name, not class name, just I am just using here the category. This is jewelry dot to uppercase, or we already have some custom hooks. I think we have a custom hook called which hook? Sentence case or some hook is there we can use. We created na first letter capital custom hooks. You can try such creating custom hook. Just temporarily I will give params. Okay, params dot what? Category. So dot to uppercase. So products like this I'm giving. That means I'm just using like jewelry products. So it has to get me that jewelry products. To uppercase is a method. Okay. It should get me that display. Back to categories and I click on men's clothing. It will show men's clothing. So back and it is going to display electronics. Now here, so when I click back to categories, it will get. Now what we need to do is when you click, it is going to pass the parameter. We can access. Actually, you can directly access. How you can directly access? Suppose home. To directly access in the URL, you can directly type. So what is the path? Path is what? Products. products slash directly what electronics, then directly it can get me the electronic products. We can access directly from the URL. You can query directly. Now I need to show those electronic products here. Of course, you can show. Now what you do, you know the category name here, then how to filter and display only the products that belong to that category. So what we will do now, we will create a constant. What is it? Products. What is it? Set products is equal to what? Use state. We are expecting an array of object with ID and with the title, string type, and with the category, and with price, it is a number type, and with the description is also what? String type, and rating is an object with the rate as number and count also as number. And I think we also have one more. What is it? So we also have an image. Image is also string type. That means that is the data we are expecting actually, right? So now what we will do, we will write use effect. Okay, use effect indicates on load what to do. On mount. On mount, we have to use axios dot get https://fakestoreapi.com/products/category name. Category name is coming from params. Params dot what? Category. It will get the particular category name. The category related products we are accessing. Dot then what we have to do? Response. And what we have to do? Set products. Response dot what? Data. That means now the products information is loaded. And I want to display those products below here. I will keep a div. Here I want to display the products. I will use here products.map. Read every product. And for every product, what I will do? I will just keep for every product an image. Only image I will display. So what we will do? I mean, actually we can have some division, because I will show you more detail also. Yeah. Now in the division, we are having what? Image. Image source. What is the image source? Image source is coming from product dot what? Image. So width I defined as some 100. Height also I mentioned as 100. And this div is having a key. Key is product.id. Product ID we will use as key. And below that image, we will keep a div. And in the div, we will display the price. Product.what? Price. I'll just put $1 temporarily. All right. Now, what is the point? It is going to display all the products like this. I will keep this as deflex justify content between, and it will be like this. That is the electronic products we are having. Now I click back to categories. I say jewelry, then it will get me the jewelry products. Right? I'm just adding back to categories and back to home. This is the home. And you click on categories, it will get me the list of categories. And you selected any category that is going to display the products belong to that category. That means you are passing a route parameter. You are accessing the parameter and using it. We are displaying the data. Now, what we want here is, so for every the price here. For every price here, what we will do is we will display we will display a link here, and we will put a span here. Class I will use I, and usually it will come like this. Now when user clicks on that, it should get the detail of that product. It should get the detail of that product. That means it should navigate from this location to another. Another one is what? Fake store details. In fake store details, it should get the details of this product. How do we know which product they clicked? How do we know which product they clicked? So actually I can make this appearance like BTN warning, something like this. It will display in this way, right? So we can display in that way. So actually this entire class BTN and BTN, suppose light, and it is going to display in this way. Then you have a appearance, right? Just an appearance we are adding for that. Now what should happen is when user clicks on this, I need to navigate to another component called details. So we will add another component, new component. What is it? Fake store. What is it? Details dot what? JSX. So export function fake store. So fake store details. Now what it should do? Return. So return a div, and here I will just keep as details. Now I need to go to index. I need to write a path for details. That means route. What is the route path? Route path is details. This details is expecting an ID of product. How you will get detail of any product? By using its ID. So what is the parameter? /:ID. And which element it should render? It should render what? Fake store details. That is the element it should render. Fake store details is the element it should render. Okay, now what should happen is when user clicks on this link, it should go to details. So let's go to that link. It is in categories products. In products, the link, this link. So we have to use what? Link to. Link to which path? I will use a backtick. In the backtick, link to which path? / what is it? Details / current product ID. Because we are using a map. In that map, we are accessing every product. Current product ID. How to access current product ID? Product dot what? ID. We are passing that ID of that particular product. So now what will happen? I click on details, that product ID will come. Now what I need to do in the details component, that ID I have to collect and display only the product that belong to that ID. So now let's go to the details page. In the details, we have to collect the ID. How you will collect the ID? LET what? Params is equal to use params. By using that, we can collect. And what we do? Constant. We have product and set product. We have to collect only one product. So use state. And here we are expecting only one product. That means I will copy this object. Product of what type? I am expecting the product of this type. That means product, only one product I am expecting with this. Okay, now what we need to do? We need to write what? Use effect. Use effect, and at the time of mounting, what to do now? We have to use axios.get from where https:// what it is fakestoreapi.com/ what products/product ID. Product ID is coming from params dot what ID. Then it will get the response and implies here. So set product is what response dot data. That one product related information I want to display here. The product related information I want to display here. So here I will display product dot title. The product title will come here. And actually we can display like a card style or something, right? Suppose I will use a div class as card and padding 2, margin 2, and we will put a style. So width I will give as 200 pixel. And here we will put an image. So class name as what? Card image top. And src is coming from product dot image. Product dot image. So height I will give as some 150, 120. And below this, we are having a class card header. In the card header, we will display the title, product dot title. And again, we are having the class as what? Card body. In the card body, we will have a data list, data term, that is what? Price. Data definition, here we will display product dot price. And another data term, here we are having rating. And data definition, here we have, so product dot rating dot rate. And a span there with class BI star fill and text success. Okay, and we have product dot rating dot count. Just these are the options we are displaying. Now the product detail will come. The product detail will come. That means actually this is details. That means I will put a header here is so details. That is just the header I am adding details. And what we will do here is from this, we will put a div. So this is class card footer. In the card footer, we will use another option here. That is a link. And it will say as back to products. Back to products, it should link to which path? Slash what? Products. But products is expecting category name. Current product category name we have to send. That means slash. What is the category name? Category name product dot what? Category. That is how we have to define back to products. Then it will get back to the products. So you click on any product, that means that product detail will come. And we have back to products and it will get back to the products. Back to categories, I selected some jewelry. These are jewelry products. And I click on this. It is going to get me the detail of that particular product and show. And we go back to the products. So we are creating a simple interface. Right? And here, what is the key concept? Route parameters. How to configure the parameters and how do we pass the parameters. When you select, that relative details should display there. Right? Now, here we have another point. There is another technique. This is okay. One route to another, one route to another. You are passing category name, you are passing ID as parameter. there is another concept is what? When I click any product, that product detail should come here only. That means it should not navigate outside. It should bring that and display here. This is called child routes. Child routes is nothing but within the route, another route should work. The detail of that product should display inside it, not anywhere else. That means not on a new screen. Currently, we are displaying everything in a new screen. That's okay. But sometimes what they want is they put all the products preview. They put all the products preview some site. They will put when user clicks on them, the preview will come here. That means we can put this list as a scrollable list. User can choose any, the right side it will come. That means we can handle the navigation within the product, means within that particular route. So generally we call those as what? Child routes. Child routes. So how to configure a child route? Child route is nothing but what is the point is this details must display inside this. Inside that the details must come of that particular product. Then generally what we do is we create the child routes. Child route means we return a route. We are ending it. We don't end this. Inside the route, there can be another route. We can have a child routes. So for that, we need to create another environment. Right? Here, syntactically, how to access the parameters, let params is equal to use params. Then how to access params dot what? Key. So configuring the route parameters. So we learned two levels. One is how to define the general routes and how to define the route parameters. Route parameter. Next important, once you know about the route parameter, now we need to learn about the child routes. People call child routes, nested routes, anything. Within the route, another route should work. That we'll see in next session. First, you need to try this. I will upload this entire project folder. That means not entire project, this fake store. This folder I will upload as a zip file into your classroom so that all the code is available. You can try that. Right? All this zip folder I will upload. So you just extract it. You can see the code and you can try that. You try this example. Then in next session, we will learn about child routes. Remember, this is syntactical example I am showing. Once we have a clarity on entire route parameters and child routes, we will create another example with all the real data. So we can create our own data and we can work with that. We will see that. But first you need to try this, right? Monday we will continue then, right?